Okay, let's get views from both sides of the border. Shishir Hattangadi, former Mumbai captain, joins me. And Javed Qureshi, former Pakistani under-19 captain, is with me. Thanks both very much. Javed, let me come to you first.
Good
Loss to
evening.
India often leads to overreactions, but it seems that Pakistan now simply can't handle the pressure of playing against India. It seems that, is it a question of not handling pressure or just not being good enough anymore?
I think it's a bit of both. We certainly struggle when it comes to handling the pressure, which is unlike the previous teams. And I think we've started to get a talent problem. We just don't have the players anymore. When you look at the Indian team, man to man, they're a first-rate unit. Pakistan is disappointing, right? So I think it's a bit of both. I think we've got to get back to invest in our cricket and get our system right and start to throw players. If you look at the Pakistan team, it's the same old players just being recycled. Whereas you look at the Indian team, they're producing 2, 3 fresh faces every 6 months. And when that happens,
it's a talent deficit come unable to handle the pressure. Shishir Hattangadi on the other side, therefore, should we be hyping it up even as this great rivalry? It seems that India at the moment is in another league. That's very different to what it used to be all those years ago when it was a very closely fought rivalry. Often Pakistan would win. Do you believe now that India is simply playing at another level compared to Pakistan, and Pakistan needs to come to terms with the fact that they're just not good enough?
Well, if you won eight games in the ICC tournament and lost only one, there's every reason to believe that you're far ahead in terms of your skills as a cricket team. And I mean, it's high time everybody just shuts off the noise and focuses on cricket, which India played much better than Pakistan. And there could be various reasons, but I think at the moment they suffer from a huge inferiority complex because of the continual embarrassment that they face after losing a game. Losing a game is one thing, but then the backlash of it with former players, with the media. I mean, it's expected that they lose. They're not a great side. Let's accept that first. After that, you'll have former players really getting after them, and they suffer from an inferiority complex. And when you are suffering from an inferiority complex on a field of play, it's very hard for you to come out of it because you know that you're not in the moment. You're thinking about what will happen after the moment because inevitably you lose a game. And then you're worried about what the backlash is all going to be. I mean, Mr. Naqvi walking off halfway through the game is just indicative of the fact that when your team is losing, you need backers. You don't need people to walk away from you. And this is where I think the problem is. Let's forget the frozen diplomacy, the media rights, the money coming in from the game. All this will go eventually. The media rights and the money, once the price from a high ticket, big ticket game goes off, you're not going to draw that kind of money. Today we are talking about it. We are hyping up a game of cricket because there's a huge amount of money coming in from advertising and broadcasting. But that's going to eventually die.
Javed, therefore, would Pakistan want the hype to be dialed down? Is that actually in the best interest of Pakistan? That Pakistan needs to start coming to terms. India seems to now treat the game against Pakistan as just another game, where because of their superiority, Pakistan seems to be feeling the heat and the pressure far more because of what happens off the field.
No, Pakistan always gets Pakistan always faces a tough time when it loses. But the way that we're losing is now really unacceptable. Yesterday's game, Pakistan barely turned up. And that's what people here don't appreciate. And I think that, Pakistan's got to get back to basics. It's something wrong with its cricket structure. It's not producing the players it used to produce anymore. And somebody needs to put a plan against it. And instead of focusing on all the other things, we should really be focusing on getting our cricket right, getting our basics right. If you can't take the pressure, then find people who can. And you've got to be tough with some of these players. I'm not quite sure what Shaheen Afridi was doing in this team. Babar is, probably still playing, but more on reputation. And, Pakistan's tactics yesterday also, I'm not quite sure what they were doing. They had a bad day. Captain had a bad day too. That didn't help.
Okay, I'm going to
You-
leave it
you-
there. We can go on endlessly about, what ails Pakistan cricket. About 20, 25 years ago, we'd asked the same question about India, and that's the cycle of the game. But I appreciate both my guests joining me from across the border. Maybe we'll have a longer discussion in the course of this tournament.